Okay. Hi. Hello. I am live. It said live streaming wasn't available right now. When it was going live, and then I refreshed the page and it said it again, and then I closed the window, opened up a new window, and now it's working. So I maybe my face is offensive. Because when I had this on before, it was like, oh no, girl, you can't live stream. No. So I was like, let me just leave it off. Hi, hello, welcome to a very special edition of Iced Coffee Chronicles, sponsored by our friend Jimmy. Hopefully, Jimmy's nose is clean, because friend may be too strong of an acquaintance, right? If only you knew Jimmy. So, it says you don't have to shake it. I guess you could still swirl it, right? I don't know. Let's see. Cool. So, there was something that I wanted to do. I wanted to do a thing with a path of least resistance, both to give and receive. Like the path that's easiest to get something to us, and the path that's easiest for us to receive the thing. And I was like, something like that I would prefer to do with multiple versions of the same deck. I could do it with, I have one deck of playing cards and some tarot. And I had that thought. Maybe I should just do it. Yeah, let's just do it. Well, let's see. Before we get into all of that, King of Wands at the bottom of the deck. Yep, it's one of those again. They're going to be a little blurry. I could turn the background blur off, but I don't want to. I don't feel like it, so. Nice. They're actually shuffling. Ooh, Three of Swords and the Six of Swords. Okay, so we saw the King of Wands, the Three of Swords, and the Six of Swords. The King of Wands was looking expectantly, seated off the throne, looking, right? And then to see the Three of Swords and the Six of Swords, it's almost like some kind of blockage has been navigated beyond. Probably it's the Three of Swords, so probably connected to some kind of heartbreak or trauma. And that signals to the King of Wands that, which is interesting because the King of Wands in the SKT Spirit Keepers Tarot is the Archangel of Glory. And we've seen the Archangel of Mysteries, the Archangel of Healing, and the Archangel Commander. And I pull cards around the Archangel of Glory because I was like, he's the only one that hasn't come out with a thing. And I'll almost wonder if this is it. You know what I mean? And I don't even have the SKT, so I have a book of maps. Let's see. Maybe that's also on theme with the last reading, where it was the Three of Swords, or the Three of Wands and the Six of Wands. I'm pretty sure. No, it was the 14 of Wands. So, was it the 6 and the 9? No, the 5 and the 9. 14, not 15. It was the 5 of Wands and the 9 of Wands. And it was a challenge of endurance, you could say. Interesting. Okay, I'm intrigued. Color me intrigued. Oh, look. The King of Wands. Wow. Okay. So, bottom of the deck, under the Six of Swords, is the King of Wands. And the King of Wands is looking at the Ten of Cups. Oh, just hide my face. And under the Ten of Cups is the Ace of Swords. I thought I had it anyway. Interesting, because I was thinking, I was like, well, if the Three of Swords is behind the Six of Swords, where is it that the Six of Swords heads towards? Six of Pentacles and the Chariot. Six of Pentacles and the Chariot could almost be like, especially the Three of Swords, Six of Swords, since someone is of an attitude to move, since someone is progressing themselves, then it's like other things will begin to move, because the Six of Pentacles can be, at least for me, oh, it is a card of reciprocity, right? So it meets movement for movement, action for action, healing for healing, whatever for whatever, right? Interesting. Okay. All right, let's get one card to like start us off. A bit of direction. Actually, we'll see. Oh, they're face down. How many is it? Two cards face down. Let's do it. Are we gonna? I mean, I could pull three off the top and three off the bottom. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. Right. I guess we'll just war it. Six of Wands and the Five of Swords at the cut, at the split. There's that Six of Wands. That's not the five. Um, the Six of Wands gives this particular Five of Swords. Ooh. Dude look kind of bloody in this one. And it's just because there's like red and yellow on this tunic. And maybe that's the way it was designed. The Six of Wands, well, like I see them like this. Um, the Six of Wands gives this Five of Swords an interesting context and connotation. It's almost like the Six of Wands is the one who won the battle, and the person that we see in the Five of Swords is there to like clean up afterward. Or like, I don't know, let's say there's some arms dealer type energy, and they like scavenge battlefields to stock their supply. Anyway, okay, so on the left is the path, because two cards came out, so I'll just do the thing that I thought to do, right? On the left is the path of least resistance to us, like getting to us. On the right is our path of least resistance in receiving. Right is receiving. Okay, there we go. Right is receiving, left is giving. Low is to give. In Hindi, maybe? Cool. Left is low, right is receiving. Cool. So, flipping these cards, we have the Two of Wands on the left and the Eight of Swords on the right. Now, if we go based off of general war rules, the Eight of Swords would take it because eight is the higher number. This Eight of Swords gives such an interesting context to that Six of Wands, Five of Swords. This is an energy outside of like the giving and receiving thing, and sort of in line with the last one, but in a bit of a different way. This is an energy of someone who it's like conquers the unconquerable without even realizing that they're doing it. It's almost like someone who doesn't even realize how like perilous or treacherous their journey is, because it's just like guided by the Two of Wands to like keep moving forward or to go from place to place, and then with the Eight of Swords it's like not even aware fully of sort of what they're doing. Now the Two of Wands and the Eight of Swords is also could be a very, I don't know if there is necessarily a card. For me, I find it in the Two of Swords. You could find it in the Hanged Man. The Two of Wands and the Eight of Swords, it's like someone who trusts their intuition so completely, or on the reverse side, let's just stick to the how it's coming through. It's someone who trusts their intuition and discernment so completely that they don't need to see where they're going. And their relationship is such that they just like flawlessly and effortlessly like weave throughout the swords. And it could be one of those things where it's like if the blindfold was off, then it would they see the sword, they would like freak out, right? And it's in the freak out that they accidentally end up bumping into one of the swords and getting cut. But yeah, so that's why it's like that Five of Swords, Six of Wands, it's like Eight of Swords. Just naturally, expertly navigating to and through various situations. The path to receive being the Eight of Swords is also very like the divine slash God works in mysterious ways. It could also be the subtle. The Two of Wands on the path of getting it to us. It's almost this energy of like the world has already been created. And so the thing is already there to be given. Like the path of least resistance when it comes to giving is for us to just like experience the thing. The path of least resistance for us to receive is to not see it coming. And again, maybe it's that whole like if she were to see the sword or if she were to see something, then it could elicit a certain response that would lead to an unfavorable outcome or situation. But as long as the trust is there, she just like stumbles upon the thing, right? Like a pot of gold that's sitting in the middle of a forest, no rainbow. So behind the Eight of Swords, we have strength, the Nine of Cups, and the Emperor. See, I love this energy. Let's see, can I do it? Oh, wait. Oh. It's fine. Strength, the Nine of Cups, and the Emperor. Eight plus 9 plus 4, 21. 20. No, 21. 8 plus 4 is 12. 12 plus 9 is 21. 21 is the world. I love the strength card here because, again, it feels that that's representative of like the trust in one's intuition and divine to not need to see the road ahead or to be able to navigate regardless of if the road ahead is seen or not. The Nine of Cups and the Emperor, it's this energy. It's like when one's internal state dictates how, you could say dictates the reality, but how one's internal state dictates how they show up in their life and what can affect them and knock them off their path and what can't. Like with the Nine of Cups, it's like someone's heart is set on whatever. And because their heart is set on whatever, because their intuition and discernment is clear, and because they're able to have the strength to keep navigating and following that feeling, it puts them in this Emperor position. And if there was any card or a few cards in the deck that could so expertly, deftly, and effortlessly navigate that Five of Swords and emerge victorious, it would be the Emperor. One of those cards, few cards would be the Emperor for sure. And I guess it's interesting that the Emperor lies on the path of receiving. And I almost wonder if there aren't preconceptions, maybe, about what is suitable for an emperor and like what an emperor would receive. Like it feels like the finest of wines and the most exquisite of cuisines and the most lustrous of gems and jewels and the finest of fabrics and stuff like that. Like all of that would be stuff that's fit for an emperor. But if you see the emperor in all of that and his empire is in a state of disarray and like poverty, it would be easy to go like, oh, like if he's doing this well and they're suffering that much and he's in charge of that, obviously something is wrong. Like, are all of the jewels and is all of the expression of wealth really necessary when that could be used to feed the people who are like starving that he's supposed to, like, who he's in charge of and over? Like what a true emperor sort of receives. Beyond the preconceptions, right? Beyond the whole fit for a king or right for royalty or some other um, variation of that. On the Two of Wands is the Devil, the Nine of Pentacles, and the Knight of Wands. I guess it is almost like enter temptation. That devil energy, enter temptation, is really interesting when it comes to the whole like everything has already been createdness of the Two of Wands sort of being the path. of least resistance when it comes to giving something. You could say that there is a level of earnedness, especially when it comes to like strength in the emperor. I feel like on the side of this two of wands, it gets really tricky. And especially for these cards to be led by the devil, then it's like the nine of pentacles becomes one of like opulence, like the emperor, whose empire is in a state of, there's a word, whose empire is in a state of just like near destruction, right? It's like the fields are barren, the people are starving, the livestock are like skin and bones and barely whatever, but somehow his table is beyond full, his cup is beyond brimming, and he has the latest fashions and the shiniest, biggest this and that. The Knight of Wands under this devil energy falls into a sort of like lust, but it doesn't necessarily have to be like a sexual lust. It's just lust in the way of like desiring things and you know. So it's almost like the path of least resistance is like it's like something is being presented to be received, not to be taken. Devil energy comes in with the Nine of Pentacles and the Knight of Wands to like take. And it's like, well, if it's freely offered, then you can just take it because it's anybody's. So if you want it, it's yours. Just take it. You don't like, and it can be very like, well, if it belonged to someone, then it wouldn't just be here. Or if it belonged to someone and they wanted it, then it wouldn't just be laying out here. If it were treasured or valued or not yours to take, it wouldn't be so easy to steal type energy. But it's like that's how freely things are given in the path of least resistance. So I feel like it was already kind of a loaded prompt, maybe. What's spirit or the divine's path of least resistance to bless us? To just like freely give, you know what I mean? The path of least resistance is to just have it happen, for it to spontaneously manifest. Our path of least resistance to receive is from the areas that we are maybe not paying attention to. And it makes sense in terms of like, it's almost very like the Matrix E, in terms of like, if spirit's path of least resistance is to spontaneously manifest something, then in our human continuity minds, if we're staring at an empty space and something just instantly appears, it causes this whole like, whoa, like what's going on? Can I trust it? All this other stuff. But if we walk into a room that we've never been into and we see the thing there, then it's like, oh, like cool. You know what I mean? It's like it makes it easier for us to process how something got where it was if it's already there when we enter the space versus if we're already in the space, we're already looking at where this thing is going to manifest, and then it just instantly appears before our eyes. Now, of course, if you know what's going on, things just instantly appearing is like really cool, right? Or maybe some people are just like more trusting, right? And not like what's going on. How did that get there? You know what I mean? I was just it's like when when you lose something and you tear a room apart and then you come back and it's like under something or on top of something and you're like it's there's no way it could have been there this whole time because I've done so much in this area. Like I took the mattress off of the bed. I looked under the mattress and then I put it back. So how is this thing on top of the mattress when I come back in here? And I guess that is an example of ways that we kind of just accept it. Just be like, something's going on. I looked there and it wasn't there, but now it is. Okay. Cool. It's also interesting that we have a two of wands, six of wands, eight of swords instead of an eight of wands or an eight of cups for that matter. I mean, in terms of how it reads, it makes sense why the suit shifted. Excuse me. Yeah, maybe that's it. I think there's with strength and the emperor, this is such, again, it's such an interesting energy. And I feel like what makes it the most interesting is how it's perceived more so than what it actually is. Because, again, okay, I might have to turn the blur off. Both the Nine of Cups and the Emperor are seated. You wouldn't necessarily call what the Nine of Cups is sitting on a throne. But if you look at it through different eyes, you would see that it is with that Emperor. And so you could go like the Nine of Cups is like building the throne that it will then sit on. The first thing that came to mind though was like knowing where and what the throne is, which goes back to the live from a few days ago, more than a few days. One of the recent lives that came out with the Seven of Swords. And the Seven of Swords was behind the Ace of Swords, I believe. It was the Six of Swords, the King of Wands, the Ten of Cups, the Ace of Swords, the Seven of Swords. But when I pulled before and after the Seven of Swords, it was the King of Wands and the Devil. And it was the message of like knowing by what authority something is like granted or permissible or whatever. And that sort of shows up in this like knowing which seat is the throne. And the thing about the emperor is the emperor makes the throne. The throne does not make the emperor. Wherever the emperor decides to sit, that becomes his throne. Right? So if the emperor were seated in this chair, it wouldn't make him any less of the emperor. And if someone else were seated in this throne, it wouldn't make them any more of an emperor. So it's like the difference between symbols and I could say the difference between symbols and substance because like the S's, right? And maybe that's what this like devil energy, nine of pentacles, king of wands is kind of sort of about, right? The preconceptions of what is fit to be received by royalty. Those are just symbols, right? The crown and the fine clothes and the food and like all of those are symbols of something else, right? So the emperor's land is lush and verdant, and the livestock are doing very well, and the people are like well fed. So he can be so well fed, right? Because the food on his table comes from the lands that he governs. And so if he's eating good, then the land has to be doing well, unless they're importing like all the food, girl. Right. So it's more than just a symbol, it's a result. It's the outcome of the processes, right? And if he has jewels, it's because the mines are thriving and rich with precious ores and minerals and stuff like that. And then the more I look at this Nine of Cups, I realize it's the same person as that Two of Wands. Maybe it's easier for you to see since it's blurrier. And so for the Nine of Cups to be represented in the Two of Wands, it's a very like, we desire to receive these things that the divine has no problem in just like freely bestowing to and upon us. The problem comes when we take a more materialistic view of these things, or when these symbols become reflective of status and it's like a certain status that we seek rather than the symbols being the natural resultant outcome and the fruits of the labors that we reap from the seeds that we sow. I'm like, I get it. Like, it makes sense, but like, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I've learned to just read. I don't know where, when, why, who, whatever. And sometimes it does feel more like an energy than like necessarily a specific person. Or like, I guess you could call it a spirit. If you think of like, I know in the church, there are like spirits that attach to people, right? And in the community, it's very similar to like programs that run for people who are plugged into the matrix. And so it's like reading the program sometimes, not necessarily often, but sometimes. Cool. Excuse me. All right. Ooh, death and the Six of Wands. We saw the death card before. Oh, I didn't add up the numbers over. Okay, cool. Work. Oh, what? Bottom of the deck is the Three of Wands. Let's go. Receiving the thing is only the first step or the first part. The emperor does more than just ensure that his lands are bountiful and his people are well cared for. That's like the bare minimum of being at least a decent emperor. There are many more and other things. Two cards came out. The first card is the Queen of Wands. And I'm like, oh, we've been seeing the King of Wands so much. Now the Queen is here. And the card under the Queen of Wands is the title card. So, hey, it's almost like the cliffhanger at the end of the movie or the like teaser for, right? It's like you watch a whole movie and whatever's happening, and then at the very end, it's like someone new comes onto the scene and then it fades to black. With this being the Queen of Wands, though, and with the whole sunflower that the light of the Queen of Wands nurtures, again, there's more to being an emperor than the bare minimum definition or than the bare minimum. It's like an emperor should be one who is there for his people and who ensures that his lands and his people are thriving. Right. And so being a good emperor, as you could say, like in an ideal world, a good emperor is one who does more than the bare minimum. Because anyone who does less than the bare minimum would not be considered to be an emperor or wouldn't be in a position to be an emperor. They may be considered one because we consider anybody anything, but they wouldn't be in that actual position. And it's like there's so much more to being an emperor than the bare minimum. So there is, and I'm pretty sure something like this may have come up last time. The thing that's being given and received, it's being entrusted. And maybe that's it. Like it's something to be entrusted to someone, not something to be taken from someone. Cool. I guess that's it. I don't know, bro. Don't ask me. I just reads the cards. That is because I before I sat down, I remembered. I don't remember exactly what it was in particular that led me to take the pause that I took the last time I was live. But this energy is very, and again with the whole like it was a test, right? The whole like wallet thing, because the divine is looking for someone honest and forthcoming and not opportunistic, because the opportunist sometimes can't help but take advantage of the vulnerable. And when it comes to safeguarding being the emperor of vulnerable people, it's like sort of out of the pot and into the fire, right? But there was something sort of being entrusted with that those who passed the test or the interview. Hmm. Five of Swords, Three of Wands. There is again like a certain indomitableness to the Emperor. Um, And I almost wonder if, because now I think back to the Three of Swords and the Six of Swords that made the King of Wands sort of like rise from his seat partially. And you could say it was maybe there was something in someone's life that kept them from fully assuming. They're assuming as in like taking on, from fully taking on certain aspects of themselves, right? Maybe for a while they were too much of something. Like too much of a good thing can also be a bad thing, right? Maybe someone was too intelligent, too perceptive, too kind, too generous, too ambitious, too driven, too whatever. And so they learned to be less. And because they had learned to be less and being less had become like their default, it sort of it caused them to never sit, right? So an emperor will be an emperor will be an emperor, and an empress will be an empress will be an empress. And where they sit is their throne. But you could say, for the sake of the metaphor, if they never take a seat, then they will never have a throne, then they will never have the position from which to exercise that power or to anchor the bounds of their empire. And so you get like roaming emperors and empresses that, see, I feel like when I talk about it, it's almost weird, but then like if you get into the energy of it, it isn't. You get these roaming empresses and empresses that are self-governing, whose sovereignty doesn't extend beyond themselves. And it's almost like you could say that there are certain situations that they could add abundance to because they're resourceful, or they could bring peace to in their ability to create order from chaos or despite chaos. But since they have no throne and they have no anchor for that, again, it's like it doesn't extend beyond them. And the divine, with that Two of Wands, it's like looking to entrust certain things to certain people, but without someone being planted in themselves and their what makes them the divine, what makes them divine, what will enable them to most effortlessly, or it's not even necessarily a matter of being effortless, it's just like being able to carry out whatever's for them to carry out without shrinking or not doing this or not doing that because it was always too much of whatever that Three of Swords was. And the Six of Swords, when the King of Wands sees that it's about to move, or that it's moving beyond that Three of Swords, no longer being any smaller, now walking in the fullness of who they are and who they were created to be, that's the signal to like put the thing in the space that they're not looking in. Or it's like that's the signal to put the car keys on top of the mattress, even though the mattress has been flipped 15 different times and everything's been taken out of the room and put back in the room. It's like that's when it like spontaneously manifests. And it's interesting, but it's not interesting, right? So the thing, like, when it comes to entrusting anything, I feel like the community and a lot of stuff is so geared towards like taking, or like, this is your birthright, this is yours, like you were created for this. In a way, there are, like, we are told to like honor our gifts and to honor the divine and to like use them wisely. You can say it's partially human nature, it's partially just the understanding that we know that what is ours is ours. But I mean, you could say like there are sacred duties when it comes to certain things. Like there are gifts that were entrusted to certain people for certain reasons because of the people that would come into their lives or because of whatever. And if there is something entrusted to you with the hope that you use it for who is meant to be used for or who could benefit from it in a that six of pentacles way of like reciprocity and reciprocity, especially I would dare to say, I would muster up enough ego to say, and I could be completely wrong, um, reciprocity when it comes to acts of divine service, it's not necessarily for the people that we serve to reciprocate to us. Because if it's done in if it's done in divine service, the divine will reciprocate what people do not or cannot. And that ain't to say nothing more than what I just said. Because there are people who can reciprocate or who it is for them to reciprocate in whatever way that reciprocation looks like. Right. Almost like philanthropy, right? There's build hours, and then there are like given hours, donated hours, volunteered hours, charity hours, right? And when it comes to charity hours and build hours, or when it comes to charity hours, donated hours, the divine reciprocates. If being of service isn't enough. Anyway, again, all right. Ooh, that was like real smooth. Final card is, I didn't even see it. Okay. I know a card flipped over. I'm like pretty sure. I mean, it was so smooth. Maybe it did. Maybe it didn't. There it is. It's the Eight of Swords. Bottom of the deck is Temperance. What's interesting is this gives me star card energy. It gives me star card energy because, I mean, I'm going looking for the card as if it's not going to be blurry. But I'll show it anyway. Because it looks like, here it is. The star is in between the Page of Wands and the Magician. And behind the Page of Wands is the Two of Wands. After the Magician is the Five of Swords. You can see, I love that the Five of Swords comes through. It like cuts through everything. I mean, it's the Five of Swords. It suits the energy of the card. So it makes me think of the Star card because the water at the feet of the Eight of Swords. In the Star card, some of the water gets poured onto the land. And it's this water that looks and it's like the way that it's spread out, it looks very similar to the water at the feet of the Eight of Swords. But as Temperance is working its magic, we don't see anything spill from either cup. I mean, there's one foot in the water. Yeah, sure. But as this is happening, we don't see any water being poured onto the land. All of the water goes in the water. Or it goes from one cup to the next. So, how did this water get down here? And of course, my mind goes heavenly fire is water on earth. It's the Magician in the Tarot Apocalypsis, and the Magician is here. with the as above, so below. But um, yeah, this is just it is almost a semyaza, angel of pride energy, in terms of like um as the angel saying, like a single speck of light fell from the heavens and cast a shadow on earth, and then it looked up at the sky one day and like remembered. It's very not Cavassier. Um, but it's like there was this sort of like divine alchemy that was happening, and a single drop fell to the earth, and out of that puddle sprang this energy type energy, which in various spiritual beliefs, there are various deities and spiritual figures that were the answer to a problem on earth or regarding humanity at large, right? And they lived their lives in such a way that there were things that were entrusted to them. And just because they were who they were doesn't mean they didn't face challenge, difficulty, hardship, didn't mean that they didn't have hard, tough choices to make, right? Anyway, Knight of Pentacles is at the bottom of the deck under Temperance, and the Knight of Pentacles is who we saw with the Four of Pentacles. It was the Knight of Pentacles and the Four of Pentacles for a hot second. And I thought of the Four of Pentacles because the Four of Pentacles is another card that's seated in the deck. That's why I thought of the Four of Pentacles. Because again, it's not the throne that makes the Emperor, it's the Emperor that makes the throne. Outside, this is like it's such a like destined for greatness type energy. And it's also very like God give, well, it's not necessarily like God gives his toughest assignments to his strongest warriors, but there is an energy of like someone not knowing why the challenge, like someone not knowing why they've gone through and or going through what they have gone through and are going through. And it could be a question of like why is it so hard, like why is it so tough? This is almost, I think, the 10 of Wands from the Pride Tarot. And it's like it's this challenging, it's difficult, it's this challenging and this difficult for a reason, and it's because of who someone is and who they will be. It's because of what's been entrusted to them. And it's like that level of challenge and difficulty, like that's just the stuff that an individual recognizes as challenge and difficulty. Never mind the monumentous, is that the word? Never mind the like very, very big, like extremely difficult, nearly impossible things that they do so effortlessly or that they've overcome so naturally. Like this is just the stuff they recognize. There is so much more that they've done and accomplished that they don't even realize type energy. And with the Page of Wands and the Magician flanking this star, this is also very like you are the solution you've been praying for coded. Like what you wish would have existed when you were in this point or that point, or how you wish things could be more equitable or fair. Like you are the solution to that type energy. You will be the one that introduces something to the world or puts certain systems in place, right? It's almost like imagine I could come up with a it's just like it's a prayer or a conversation with the divine that's like, why isn't there this or why is that so challenging or where is the whatever? And then the divine's like, well, why do you think you're there? Why do you think you were created and put where you are? Because you'll be the one who like does whatever, right? The things that are entrusted to you. And according to the cards, if it resonates, entrusted to you, there's that Five of Swords again. Oh, the other title card for good reason. Under this title card, the one about Pamela Coleman Smith, is the devil, and under the devil is the high priestess. And this energy is this is so much of that, like, you may not know where your journey is leading you. You may not know why you've had to overcome the things that you've overcome or why you've gone through the things that you've gone through, but devil energy knows and the divine knows. And one will try to keep you on your path, and the other one will try to steer you off of it. Cool. Under that is the Ten of Cups. Again. And the Ten of Cups is what the King of Wands was looking at. All right. Well, those were the final cards. I hope you all have an amazing whenever you see this. I hope you're acting in alignment to make all that you wish to experience your reality. I hope that whatever you need along your path journey, may you find. I hope that if a solution is what you seek, but it is not what you find, that you have I almost want to say patience. I hope you have the discernment more than anything. I hope you have the discernment to discern what that may mean for you. I mean, if I'm hoping, I hope you have the discernment to discern what it means for you. But, you know, I hope for the best. And I know that life is life. So just because life is life doesn't mean that I have to hope for less. Because if we're going to hope, why hope halfway? You know what I mean? If you're going to make a wish, why wish halfway? Hello? Anyway, all right. I'll catch y'all later. Bye. I think I'm done. Actually, oh. I should do this. I should do this next. Because I was going to pull. I can do this. Maybe. I want one of these. And I didn't create the app to pull it up yet. To do it randomly. So I'll just close my eyes and leap. It's time to take a nap. I think I know where these are. I just found these because I had to. Here we go. Can I right click and if I can't do this, it's 2025 and you should be able to. I don't think I can. It's 20. Oh, yeah, yeah, I can. Open file location. There we go. I was like, it's 2025. If something is in my recent files, I should be able to like follow it back to where it's stored and not have to, whatever. All right. So, is this all of them? Is that 52? I mean, I'm sure it is. So I'll just come in here and double click this. We have the energy that we send out is the energy that we receive. The future is born in the heart. 93, 1, 10, 4, 4, and 4. Cool. There you go. I love the like sending and receiving and energy when I was like, path of least resistance for it being sent and for us receiving. Like, I don't know. It's the little things. Take it if it resonates. Absolutely do not if it does not. And just keep doing your best. And make your best get better and better.